Is it the ear or the ego? A recent experience that was disappointing to me at first, but actually turned into a not so bad situation, really was a test of my ego and my professionalism. I lined up a mastering gig for a jazz album and was really excited about it. There were some great musicians on the project, and I asked the producer how the mix was going. He told me it was going well and he was happy with the mix. I said, great. Just give me the stereo masters when you're done, or the stems if down the line you need to do an Atmos mix or any immersive or spatial deliverables. When I heard the temp mix, something bothered me and I volunteered to fix a problem spot that was distracting from the piece. He confessed that they tried unsuccessfully to fix the problem themselves in the mix. I assured him that I had the proper tools and experience to fix that problem, and I fixed the MP3 version he gave me so he could just hear an example that I could do much more than they could accomplish in the mixing session. Note, if possible, always provide master quality versions of your project for evaluation. A couple of weeks passed, and I again inquired about the final mix. Well, the producer texted me that his man would, quote, run the mix through a mastering machine and then give me the masters. You can imagine my surprise when I heard that. Good thing we were on the phone, because I could at least hide the look on my face. Although I felt somewhat slighted, I gave the most professional response I could at the time, the thumbs up emoji. I thought that letting his mixer also master the project, especially after unsuccessfully being able to do that fix, was not only a bad idea technically, but it was also an ego-driven decision made by the mixer to, quote-unquote, protect his version of the mix by mastering the project himself once he heard someone else would be mastering the project. Now that brings me to my subject. You can't make all the money. You can't get all the credit. You can't get all the glory. Don't be so caught up in trying to do everything on a project so that you become essentially a lone wolf on the project. I mean, share the work. Share the workload if possible. A second set of ears during each phase of production improves the chances of hitting the mark with the producer, the client, the label, everybody. Look, when you're the recordist, mixer, and mastering engineer, you just simply are too close to the mix to be fully objective. What I mean by too close is that because you're doing everything, you're not listening as critically as you could or should because you have a bias toward your input and your work on the project. Now, I'm not knocking self-production. I've done several projects alone myself where I've been the musician, the mixer, the master, the producer, the distributor, everything. But when you have the ability to hire a mastering engineer, to hire other people, take advantage of it in order to better your product. You see, a lot of people become gatekeepers when they get a gig or a project, and they get a sense that they need to gatekeep the input of others so they can get all the rewards and accolades of the project. Sometimes people gatekeep out of fear that some flaw may be exposed in the work, or that they'll lose the confidence of the producer or even the gig. Again, this makes no sense to me if you've already got the gig and if you're sure of your skills and qualifications. Being a lone wolf or a gatekeeper can prevent the client from getting the best possible result out of working with you. Another set of ears can alert you to things you may miss during the recording, mixing, or mastering process. When you collaborate, the opportunity to learn more about the craft presents itself. The opportunity to broaden your skills, develop your ear presents itself. Your network grows instantly through collaboration. Now, in my honest opinion, I absolutely could have done a 100% better job of mastering that project, but I'm professional enough to respect the producer's approval of and satisfaction with the final mix and master. I would never diss or talk badly of another producer's choices, but I'm always eager to offer my professional opinion. I wouldn't gain much by pointing out further problems or issues in the production or in the mix, so I left it there. The kicker was that soon after the producer received his masters, he asked if I could fix the low end, specifically the kick drum and upright bass relationships on 2 of the tracks. I said, sure, I can adjust that for you. No matter what, always be professional. Even later, he asked if I could add metadata to his files. I explained what I could and couldn't do regarding metadata in his files and said I'd be glad to help him. Again, always be professional. It would have been a perfect time to bash his engineer, but that's not my style. I believe that if he uses the engineer again, Maybe the producer will put both of us together to work on his next project. I'm keeping that door open because people will always remember how you treated them. As a result, with every musical or audio decision, I ask myself, is it the ear or the ego that's guiding this decision? I want to understand if me or anyone I'm involved with is making decisions based on what the ears are hearing or what the egos want.